Good morning. I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to come and meet you this morning and discuss the role further for a nanny and PA position with your family. I'm about to graduate Macquarie University with my undergraduate degree now in Bachelor of Arts, majoring in early childhood education. I've been lucky enough as well to also manage my time effectively and be able to have the chance to work with children for the past 3 years now, both in a childcare setting and a role as well with a family nannying their 2 children. So this would make me a perfect candidate for the actual position that you have had listed. In saying this as well, I've also been executive assistant for my boss now for the last 2 years with his own company that he started up in the last 2 years in the IT domain. And during my time at Macquarie University, I've been luckily enough able to also complete a practical unit. So I actually chose to do something a little bit different and actually complete something more in the administrative domain as well. So I actually got the amazing chance to actually work with Greenpeace Australia, which you would probably know as a large NGO here in Australia and globally that fight to protect the environment in a peaceful manner. So this was very different from what I have experienced before, and something that I believe was a great experience to have, just being in a different environment and working with a great team of people as well. And during my time there, I was in the supporter relationships team, which helped me to work towards the Macquarie University's graduate capabilities, in particular the effective communication. So during my time with the team, I would complete various different tasks, and on an everyday basis, communication would be so important, whether it was relating back to something that we've had from a supporter, from changing the details, to actually getting feedback, or actually having feedback from them where they actually want to get more involved in some of our campaigns, or they might want to host an event as well to support our actual team and some of the events that we have going on in our campaigns. And during my time, I got to actually attend the half-yearly fundraising review. So in saying this, I was allowed to take part in a sense where I could contribute to some of the campaigns that Greenpeace has had in the last few months, and just referring back to them and seeing, I guess, what was more effective, and where we perhaps from the appeals we had raised more money, and what seemed to actually be more effective in terms of actually getting more supporters, whether we used external agencies to try and bring some new supporters on, or whether we actually had our own team trying to further the supporters. So effective communication was essential, as the message would need to be conveyed on an everyday basis and understood very well, I believe. An experience allowed myself to develop my administrative skills, such as effective time management, as well as working part of a larger team, which I found to be such a great experience because my boss's company now is only a startup. So there's only a couple of us, and the tasks are basically just split up on a regular basis between the very few of us that do work for the company. And I would say my greatest weakness would have to be probably overcommitting myself, particularly now where I'm actually working 2 part-time jobs. So usually at times that I might go between my retail job, so I might do a split shift during the day where I might go to the nannying in the morning, and then I would come back in the afternoon, but meanwhile during the day I would go to my retail job during the day, in between both. So I would go during the day and then nighttime again. So I would find this quite difficult, perhaps trying to manage both effectively, I would say. And even, I guess, with the admin as well, because it's not always a set time, I would find myself perhaps trying to have to refer back to emails during the time where I would have to look after the children, which could be a little bit of a hard situation when the children are realizing that I'm maybe not as engaged in something that they are actually doing, or one of the activities that they're completing, and my attention is slightly divided. But in saying this, going back to or going into full-time work, I believe would be a great opportunity, and I think I can overcome this very easily, as I will no longer need my retail job, and also there being a set time for the PA work as well. Thank you so much for meeting me today and considering me for the role. Thank you once again. Bye.